Can you hear me clearly though? Okay,
Yes.
We
I'm
on
here.
live. Okay, let me see.
African woman, confident woman, a special woman, beautiful woman. I cannot deny African women, they strong. She's on fire. She's a blessing from above. A cultural woman. She is a royal woman. A loving and caring mother. Hey, Mama Africa. She did for Zambia. She did for Zimbabwe. She did for Senegal. Mama Africa. Black is beautiful. So beautiful. So adorable, you know. What a beauty to behold. Black is beautiful. Black is beautiful. So adorable, you know. What a beauty to behold. African woman. Confident woman, a special woman, beautiful woman. I'm loving her vibing. Beautiful woman, she is enticing. She is enticing. Strong African woman, hey, she is the full package. Very special woman, a special kind of body with a heaven's package. Liberia, Rwanda, Nigeria, Uganda, Africa, Mama Africa, Tanzania, Madagascar, Kenya, South Africa, Ethiopia, Namibia. We no forget Nigeria, Ghana, Somalia, Angola. Black is beautiful, so beautiful, so adorable, you know. What a beauty to behold. Black is beautiful, black is beautiful, so adorable, you know. What a beauty to behold. African woman, confident woman, a special woman, beautiful woman.
Jeffy Stamps mixing. Oh, we are fire music.
Hello, everyone. Hi. Okay, so this is Split Talk, the non-generation. If you on this page, we'd like you to share the video because this is a Gracie Care page, so we're using this page now. So share the video for us in all the platform. It's important that you do that so we can get a message out there. So if you're watching us right now, I see some people watching. Share it to the different platforms so people can get on. All right. So we are celebrating Women's Month. So we are about to talk about women, and then we want to know the men perspective on, women, how to challenge women and everything. So this is why we are here. Women are the most intelligent of all God's creation. The Bible said that. It's not me who said it. The Bible said women are the most intelligent in all God's creation. International Women Month is this month, March, and the International Women's Day was celebrated on March 8th. Um, so we want to dedicate this day to all women. My name is Grace Goa. This is the Split Talk, the non-generation platform. And Lawani is collaborating today because we want to give information out there to women, talk about everything that concerning women today. So my co-host is
My name is Vera Addy. I'm the co-host of Split Talk, the non-generation, and I also am a member of Lawani. And like Grace said, last had a program dedicated to women, and we spoke on the theme on Choose a Challenge. And after that show, it was a very successful show, and it was all women platform. But when we got off that show, a lot of people contacted us again to come back on. But this time they wanted male representation on the panel so they could hear what the male to say about women choosing to challenge. So we are this afternoon. Tune in, listen, learn, apply it to your life.
So we have two amazing men joining us today, honorable men, and we have them joining us today. So our first guest is Mr. Isaac Yoyo, and our second guest is Mr. Pittman Kennedy. So Mr. Isaac Yoyo, can you come in and introduce yourself?
Oh, you getting me? Hello. Hi, Vera. Glad to be here. I'm Isaac Yoyo. I'm a Liberian Canadian. 15 years in refugee camp, 2005 for my family. I was just graduated from the seminary at the university here, running after my ordination publisher, and contributed to the law and social policy of Osgoode Hall Law School, York University. Topic on systemic racism against African Canadians, Aboriginal kids. Got covered a manuscript on Liberian war and social status of the country, which is an editor choice, but that is not yet public, but it's part of the editor choice. I'm decided doing the online ministry, teaching and teaching, and I'm glad to be here today to talk about our mothers. I'll call you mothers to start the honor.
Okay, thank you. Pittman, you can go ahead.
Good afternoon, and thanks for having me. My name is Pittman Kennedy, as you all know, a son of Liberia and a member of Lawanning. I applaud the effort and support it. What do I say? I'm a businessman. I'm a publisher. I'm an author. What else? I do youth sports. I'm a retired Air Force veteran, 21 years. And I'm here to support these amazing queens as they keep fighting the challenges that our women face on a day-to-day basis. So every time I have an opportunity to help support and uplift them, I cherish that. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you, our two amazing men, for being here with us. Our other guest is Adolphus Benjamin. He said he having problems coming on, so he's still trying to work with it, but we will just go forward. So the theme for this year is choose to challenge. What are our men choosing to challenge women in their lives? So we all got women in our lives. We too are women, but you the men, what you guys are choosing to challenge women in their lives? It can be any woman, your mother, your wife, your children. Most men, they've got a lot of daughters, your aunts, your nieces. Women are the most intelligent of all God's creation, as I said. We women are happy that we are in the time of the world now that women can experience life fully. We can experience life fully in the world, although it's not the entire world right now. Some countries have still got women suppressed or subjected, but at least most of the world now over, women, can be heard, and women can now achieve their goals, and they can also empower and reach their full potential. So although there's challenges, especially for Black women, but we are hopeful. So Fiora, you want to come in and say anything?
Yeah, I just want to say in the century that we're living in now, women have risen to a lot of levels. Women now are doing a lot of things that men said that women couldn't do in prior decades. And still, I do believe there are still some things that are just for the men and not for the women. And some women are trying to rise up to that challenge. But we women have to remember, we can do whatever we think that a man can do, but we have to also know that we are female. We are supposed to be beside the men. We are not supposed to go above them. Neither are we supposed to be below them. So in challenging ourselves to rise to all different levels and to our different potentials, we have to remember we are beside the men. Because some women rise so high that they tend to look down on the men that they stand beside. And in my opinion, I think that is wrong.
Yeah, and so this month is set aside to celebrate women's achievements, their contribution, their progress in the world, in the society, and in the community. So my first question to one of you people would be, what progress have you seen on women peace and security? What progress in the world, in your community, have you seen that women are more secure now? The security is there. although there is rape and molestation and abuse, and what else? I mean, everything you can think of.
Domestic violence is still on the rise.
Domestic violence, yeah. And what do you think now so far in the world over that women have come to a point that they have a little bit of security, knowing that back in the day, women were very vulnerable to the world, to everybody, to the community as well? Mr. Kennedy?
Yeah,
Pitman, go ahead.
I think there's still a lot of work we have to do collectively as people. But we have come a long way as far as women's security and women protection. But what concerns me is this rapid, steady pace of lifestyle that we live, where we try to yield on instant returns. So in doing so, sometimes we compromise values that should be upheld. Okay, I give you a case in point. When we are in haste to run into a, and sometimes you find a man overlooking the opportunity to just hold that door open for that lady because he's so rushing to get after something. Is those types of values, those intrinsic values that sometimes we overlook. And when I say we, the adults that see that sometimes may even overlook the opportunity to correct a young man. Why is that important? Because for women to continually be protected and I would say upheld in the statuses that it should be upheld, we have to have that responsibility to create that environment of protection, respect, because protection also entails to respect. You protect that which it is that you respect. So if we don't enforce into our young people, especially our young men, the importance of respecting women and then protecting them, we have a long way to go. But we've come a long way. We got women voices being heard. Hell, this platform alone is an instrument, it's a testament. Your great work. I observe the challenges that Lawani women face every day in dealing with the atrocities and trying to correct. You guys are, I mean, people attack you all, people say evil things, hateful things, and to try to disguise your voices, but it cannot be, the truth crushed into the earth will always rise again. So you continue to speak the truth and you will always rise. And I applaud what you guys do, but we got work to do. And but we've come a long way. So
Yeah. Thank you, brother. So then, Mr. Yoyo, I was just thinking that compare from back in the day to now, do women have the security on land, their right to vote, their right to have resources, and their right for peace? So you can come in there because in some countries, I was just doing some research that women still don't have the right to purchase a land, or men have to be with them for them to have the right to purchase a land. In some African countries, it's still going on now, and in some African countries, women still don't have the right to vote. But we have come so far that in most of the countries in the world, women now can vote and they have the rights to own their own land. They have the rights to own their own business. It was just in the 80s in America here that even women started having rights to own their own businesses, that they had right to go to the bank and take a loan. Back in the day, women were not allowed before the 80s in America, in the great United States of America. Women were not allowed to go to the bank to get a loan except they had a man with them, or husband or significant other. So you can come in, Mr. Yoyo.
Thank you, Gracie, and member of the platform today. I am. I would just like to say I was raised by my mother, and one of the values that she put in me was that she raised her in a way that as we grow, we should be able to help our wives. She taught us how to. She made sure that other us learn how to cook. So one time I frowned, and then she called me back. She said, the reason why I want all of you people, to learn how to cook, particularly. She said, because one day I will be dead and gone, and your wife will go to the hospital, and then you need to prepare food for the kids and take care of them. And when she gets sick, she's not able, she's tired, you got to step in that gap for her. That's the reason why I do all this. And then we grew up in the church, learning how to respect all of the people. And so that value, she taught us, I grew up with that value. And in my whole life, I can boast of I'm the only man in Liberia that haven't raised my hand Oh, sorry about that, Pitman. But that I have never ever raised my hand against a woman to strike a woman up to this age I am today. I never done that. I always rise against my brothers that who hit on the women. So that's where I got my value for a woman from my upbringing up to this present. I still hold to that value. So as for women's security, the process, like Pipman rightly said, the process has started. Talk about men, we especially you and I were talking earlier. Those of us who are in our 50 going towards our 60, we had the opportunity to experience good parenting and good educational standard back home. So we supposed to now start training our boys because I got all girls. I don't have boys, but I plan to bring up program into my ministry to be able to raise young boys to teach them how to respect their wives and the value of a woman to a husband and a home. So
Okay.
all of these things are part of what been contemplating on, and I'm glad that we have this conversation today so that we can talk about a lot of.
Okay, so I will hold you there, Mr. Yaya. Now I want to come to viewer. As Mr. Yaya said rightly, there's a certain standard that we were taught. We who are older, we were taught certain standards in the home that we can't disrespect our parents, but the world has changed. This is a new generation going on and a lot of stuff happening. But it's so sad, viewer, as you can see on Facebook, when we see women of our own stature, women that are older, even than some of us, and some of them are up there in age. They came from good parenting background, but they sit on Facebook and insult one another and say bad things toward one another and for hours. And a bunch of our youth, bunch of our children, because they watch those shows, they come on there and they watch them insult each other on a part and insult each other, and these are the children that watch our children. So what kind of difference does it, what the question is really, what can our children learn from us seeing these kind of things? That even with people who had the better platform, because the way the world is going right now, and the things that are going in the world, most people are drawn to abuse and insults, and for some reason, our generation, the generation that before us, after us, are drawn to that. So how can our children learn from this? What can we do? Because social media has gone so, look, the thing came as a good thing, it ended up being somehow a bad thing. Some people make millions by being on social media here. They produce stuff and they make millions of dollars. Some people, they use this place to just do drama and destroy their own lives and their homes. So what can we do as women to make sure we reach out there for this thing? Because this is getting really bad, especially in the Liberian community. How can we do something about this? Imagine this is the month to celebrate women. This is the month for women empowerment. This is the month to uplift one another. This is the one for us to showcase what we have accomplished as women, especially Liberian women, Black girl magic. This is the month for all these things. But sadly, we don't see women on Facebook trying to uplift one another. But instead, we're seeing them trying to put each other down. Can you come here and say something, Vera?
Yeah, it's not all the women that are on Facebook are doing the insults against each other. It's a group of women that are doing it. But the sad thing is that we can only live positively, and hopefully those women emulate what they see or somebody positive in their own life. Because the thing is, we cannot parent them. Some of the cases that have happened on Facebook, Lawani has intervened. We've called them behind the scenes and said, look, this that you're doing is not a good thing. This that you're doing is not a good thing. Desist. And step back. You don't have to respond to all the negativity. We have intervened, but if we continue to intervene and it's not working, we have done our part. It is for us to teach our children how to live well. We are supposed to be role models for our children. If we cannot be role models for our children, then who else will be? Who else will be? You are your child's number one role model. You are in a home with them. And you have to set the example. The outside cannot set the example for you, because we see in the world nowadays, there's so a lot of things going on that are not right. And that's the reason why we try to shield our little children that are coming up. We try to teach them well. We try to tell them, well, if you saw this, this is not right. This is wrong. I'll give you an example. It's not about insult, but my son was telling me, he said, oh, no, mommy, there's this guy on social media, I think on YouTube and something, and he calls himself the Beast, but he's very nice. He gives things out to people, and when people win prizes, and he's sending stuff. And I say, you know what? The name the Beast alone is an alarm. I sat him down and I tried to tell him, I said, you know what the Bible says about the beast? The beast in the last day is not a good person. The beast is supposed to be the family of the Antichrist. And during the last days, this is what the Bible says about the Antichrist. He's going to come as a peacemaker. He's going to come as this. The beast is that. The beast is that. And he and I had a whole. And I said, I don't want you listening to him anymore. I don't know how you came across it, but I don't want to hear that anymore. And I told him the truth. And that is what we have to do with our children. So if we have children on social media, my son is not on Facebook and anything like that, because for me, I believe that you need to be of a certain age and you need to be of a certain maturity before you can get on Facebook, because you have to be able to understand that when you get on Facebook or Instagram or whatever other platforms they have on there, I want you to be mature enough that when you get on there and you see such things that we are witnessing, like you would have already been disciplined. I would have already instilled discipline in you and enough training in you to know that those things that you are seeing, they are wrong. It's not supposed to be happening. To not participate in it, to not let it creep into your life, to not let it creep into your brain, to not let it creep into your system. So that is how I see it. For people who are on social media who choose to insult, there's nothing we can do about it. That's how I feel. Women, and that's some of the challenges we have. Women, we have to challenge ourselves to rise above the fray. I mean, we have, you know, we talk about the men. The men do this to women. The men press women down. The men suppress women. They don't want to be women and to be equal with them in certain capacity. They don't want equality in certain capacity. But what about us women? We ourselves don't want each other. We ourselves don't want to challenge each other to be on equal capacity, on equal path.
Okay. So Golden, I talk with you.
We don't
I was
want
just
to do that.
Golden, I talk with you, viewer. I was just about to come in with exactly what you're saying concerning the reason why women cannot be empowered. Because although we talk about empowerment, empowering women, and this and that, and we women we love each other, but I mean it's a joke. The reason why we women cannot be empowered, or we cannot empower one another, it has to do mostly with the competition thing. So that's where my next question will come from, because most women, instead of then seeing the goodness in what's going on and seeing the goodness in what's going on in another woman, you know, especially when that woman is a positive role model, instead of then seeing the goodness in it and push her as a positive role model, they try to say, oh no, I'm not going to push her and this and that. And then you see people with competition. You know, everybody are leaders, but they're heads for leadership. And people who are in that leadership capacity, who are the heads, supposed to be able to carry on the matter while you push them out and raise them. We all can put our hands up together. But most women don't see it that way. They see it as a competition. So going from there with the competition thing among women, and that's the reason why we have not succeeded in being equally fitted into society. Because every time that we're supposed to come together, there's too much competition going on, and people putting each other down. So my next question is that do you support women empowerment and gender equality, seeing that women still cannot exist with one another? Most women, I'm not talking the guys certain women, they are in the majority that they cannot coexist with one another. They have few powerful women that can coexist, and they're doing it, but we are not enough. So for us to be enough, we have to be able to empower the other women some way, somehow, to see if they could be part of this whole thing. But we are having problems because every women leadership you reach and you say they tell you the same thing. So do you support women empowerment and gender equality? That's the question I want to ask Petron today. You're on mute.
You still muted, Pittman.
Yeah, okay, let's go to Mr. Yoyo. You can come in while Pittman tries to fix his stuff.
Yeah, so just 2 minutes, just highlight the question again.
So, are you in favor of women empowerment? Although you know, regardless whether you're in favor of it going on, but just saying, how do you see it? Since you see that most time the hindrance to women empowerment and gender equality is because women don't even empower each other. Women are always putting one another down. Everybody won't be in competition. You know, they don't see the good in other women and say, okay, I will join the matter, I will support, because some people are just made to lead. You can't kill that, you can't help it. It's in the DNA. So are you gonna join the bandwagon and push them for you to be able to lead? That the person will be there here and you will be there, or you're gonna come and say, oh yeah, you know, myself, I can't tell you, I will not support her because myself can do it. And most time women suffer from those things, and that's the reason why women have not gotten equal rights in the world today. So what do you think about that?
Uh, Number one, I 100% support gender equality, especially when it comes to women empowerment. Thing that I've been involved with, it has been my thought over the years to see how I can help. And least opportunity I had to go Liberia, I started the process, with to see how, because when I saw our female, who that believe that 80% of our population is they are very very vulnerable. I started a program. I had a group. I started on what they call it, nighttime counseling. I the one that introduced the nighttime counseling, so that we can be able to go out and uh, have one-to-one counseling with these girls that was in the street, and try to see how we encourage them. All of that, uh, I came up with the idea of empowerment, which you mentioned also. Uh, we will have to empower them and think about when it comes to our Liberian country, we got a very delicate, serious problem. Something that got damaged after the death of Torva. For me, I grew up in Pennsylvania, so I followed Torva. When Torva died, 1980 was the death of Liberia. And the American former Secretary of State Herman Cohen, during the time of the war, said it. He wanted America to stop the war. And he said, if America allowed the war to continue in Liberia, Liberia will go 100 years back. And so the country, whatever happening with Liberia right now started from the genesis of the country, the history. It is enshrined within the history of the country, and it has become a problem where the issue of unity wasn't there. The disparity between the American Liberian and indigenous Liberian expanded in a way that nobody thought about. It was thought we attempted to start it by expanding the educational opportunity to everyone. And when he died, that was it. Done. Finished. So that generation that you see on air, everybody talking all kind of nonsense, they don't know. You got to have knowledge. You got to know who you are. You got to know your value. You have to understand your value and be able to protect it before you can even go out there to represent yourself. So that's what the problem that we got. As Vero was saying, what you are talking about is what we individual that have this parenting and grew up in a normal society, what we can do for our children. But it's more, we need to do more than that. That more than what we need to do is what you have started in, what your organization is, Lawana, what thing?
Lawani, Liberian women.
Lawani.
Lawani.
That's the foundation. That's the foundation. That's what we need. So what we need to do is that how to go about to see how we can get a greater impact on our population, our female population. And the way to do it is that you start in your state, or gradually you have to move that idea from state to state and have branches, and then have program for our girls where you can have a weekly program where you have people come to speak to them, or you have program where we can encourage them and not to be to stick to the moral value, because that's where the problem coming from. The war had caused over 75% of our population have to lost their moral value. And because we have lost our moral value, some of the parents have been affected also, so they don't have control over the children. So the children grow on their own. So today they can go on the air and say anything about one another, cause people on it. That's why I've been on the back of those men that on Facebook and costing women under their clothes. I've been on them. Some of them don't even deal with me. I don't care. I told you that you got your kid for a mother wound. How do you where you will sit on air and cuss a woman like that?
But that is that the thing is that I know you want the guys that cuss women and stuff like that, which is bad. We don't condone those kind of things. But how can you be on the men when the women themselves are cussing one another on Facebook as
Yeah,
well?
but that was said the way it comes from the foundation of the nation. It's in order for us to solve it, because that's what we're on the airport to talk
Yeah.
about. How the solution is that people must mention is Vera talk about it, because you and myself, this group that I see here, we know exactly what to do with our children, whether we're in America or not. Because I went to so many speaking engagement here on social services. I told to the police, I told the police to their face that I said, if my child gave me a child to spank them, I will spank them. Looking at me, I said, yes, they gave the cause to spank, I will spank them, because I came in the country with value. I said, because if anything go wrong, my kid, you the police after me. And you people have taken our kids from out of our hands. We don't have control over them. They have gotten engaged with what they call cultural shock, and where they come to what is social media lifestyle, and where everything, the thing that you and myself never saw before, the children now can see everything on this device.
Okay. All right, I will hold you there, Mr. I will hold you there, Mr. Yeah, I won't come to Pittman again.
Yeah.
Pittman, I know very well that you are an ally for women empowerment. That one I know it for clear, because you also work with us in Lawani, you support us financially, and you support us financially and as a member. So you support us in both ways. So do you agree or accept the fight that for gender equality? Do you agree and accept the fight for gender equality? The reason why I asked if you agree and accept it is that because I know we preach about gender equality, but can women handle equality? That's the question. Can we handle it? Being that it's already, I know people will say, oh, but why would she ask that question? It's already being, exhibit in the world right now, because we have a vice president of America, the great United States of America is a woman. But with the bickering and the fight and the hypocrisy, can women handle gender equality when gender equality actually face this world? That's my question to you.
Can you all can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Very clear.
So you asked me the question, but you answered every part of where I was going with that. So that's
Okay, sorry about that.
like, but yes, the short answer is yes. It can be handled and it can be done. But I think again, as I said, the baseline is of love and respect, because when we talk gender equality, I look at it in two different capacities. Okay, women in the professional scheme, and then women in the more intimate scene, like in families, right? Um, you respect in the personal relationship. In my opinion, it's a partnership, it's a team. All right, there has to be mutual respect and those types of things between a man and a woman. It becomes a partner, like you said earlier. You are side by side. You do things in that respectable manner. But then you get outside of that. So in like the political sphere, the public sector, well, is where we have challenges. And I think women are given a lot of opportunities. Women hold significant roles today across the spectrum, in government, in professional industry, those types of things. But you hit the nail on the head when you say, can we handle it? Because one thing that we cannot underestimate is a lot of times the culprit of undermining women are other women. And that's an issue that sometimes we overlook. And we talk so much about is women, are women equal? Are women gender equality? But in the little capacities that we have, every time it's like a crab mentality. Okay. If one woman is aspiring to do great things, sometimes the corporate, the barriers are other women. And then not only do they woman, it's like being black in America today. When you go out there, you don't even have to only deal with the opposition or the enemy, but you got to deal with sometimes your own people. So sometimes the corporate are your own kind. So I think the way we overcome that is through effective collaboration, like-mindedness, understanding that, look, there's enough opportunities for us all to conquer the same goal, to achieve the same outcomes. So if you are leading Lawani today and I'm in another organization trying to go after the same effort, we can collaborate. It doesn't matter who's sitting on the top, you know, as long as we're pushing together and we respect what every one of us do versus criticizing and looking for the downfalls, your shortcomings. I see that too much, and that's why I'm giving that to you as an answer. Okay, it's not so much because, you know, there's a thing that said the enemy on the outside cannot do anything to us without the enemy on the inside consenting. So who knows a woman better than another woman? So if a man looks at a woman and says, well, if she's going to come at her like that, if they're colliding like this, half of my battle is already won. Now all I'm going to do is attach to one of them, and then we can destroy the other one. So now you're fighting a dual battle. And this is what we see all the time, even from the personal space, the social space, to the political scheme. It's happening in the political arena today. One female politician is undermining another. So then men can just sit back and fold their arms and laugh right now and say, forget it. They'll destroy each other. So it can be done, but we just got to do better as individuals.
Thank you so much, Piedmont. That was just excellent. Where you want to come in, since women makes 50% of the world population, but yet we are marginalized. So I just wanted you to come in with everything that we're saying. We are marginalized. We make 50%. So we have for the world population, we marginalized, but yet the mean people that tear us down are our same women. So especially how Piedmont elaborated on that. You want to say anything concerning that before we move on to the next question?
You were what Piedmont said, because half of the time we are marginalized by other women. And I as Piedmont was speaking, the thought that came to me was typically because we are from Liberia, and in Liberia we know we are suffering a lot of things. The women in Liberia are suffering a lot of things. And I think about a situation in Liberia where a woman will be married to a man, and if the man dies, the man's family will come and put the woman out of the house. And even some of the family members that will come and throw the woman out of the house that she and her husband built will be the man's sister, or it will be her mom or her daughter. Those will be women are the first ones in the forefront to go through another woman in the street. So yes, and I agree with Piedmont. We can talk about equality, or we want gender equality, equal opportunities, equal pay, and stuff like that. But most of the time, we don't get to reach our peak because of other women. They're always a blockade in a way. And I totally, and Piedmont, I mean, he elaborated it and well. And that's most of the problem with suffering in Liberia. Because, for example, when we were doing the rape, when we were doing the rape protests and stuff, how many women that didn't call to say, oh, you just need to back down, you need to leave? They think you don't have to go to DC to go protest. It will look bad on the country. It will look bad on it will look bad on all of us. How many calls we didn't get? How many women calls we didn't get? We were talking about Kimaya on the Afro College show when another woman came out there and gave us a flat outcome that and the case where Kimaya versus Wani Cummings was a dead case. It was not going anywhere. That was a woman. That was a woman that said that to us on air. So we women are our own problem to gender equality. And that's the challenge that we women have against our own selves. We have to rise above that challenge and know that we are working towards the same goal. We are looking for results. And until we all realize that one voice is always going to be bickering and biting and stabbing each other. I couldn't have said it better. Piedmont said it well.
I really appreciate all of you guys because we ready. I mean, the information is here. It's just left for the people to come and get the information. You know, right now, social media, you can choose to get the best information like myself because I go to the platform that give me the right information and I will educate myself, or you can choose to go and get the bad information. So it's your choice. And most of the information, they are free. The thing is that back in the day, people used to pay for these kind of forums. Now it's just free. People, you can sit down on Facebook and learn from as a ninth grader straight to a 12th grader standpoint, if you really listen to the people you're supposed to listen to. So I will move forward with this thing. I will come back to Mr. Yoyo. So with everything that we have said here today, what progress have you seen on gender equality in the lives of Liberian women in Liberia and also here in the States?
So far from what I saw when I was there for 1 year, I saw Ellen did a lot. Her government did a lot to get women involved into a government system. And I saw that, but I'd like to go back. I want to pick on what people said about collaboration. I think that's a very important word and a very important factor into reaching up to this gender equality issue. And another issue is that we have to look at the cultural that involved with all around the world. The issue of gender equality, I think, have been heavily affected by cultural factor, where in some culture women are allowed to do certain things, not allowed to hold certain jobs, and then in our African tradition too, have also affected gender equality, where the issue of keeping women regress or suppressed as just a horse word, that ideology it also permanent in our African cultural setting. When it comes to allowing women to be free to do that, but there's for Liberia a lot have been done. We were able to plan a lot of organizations and support a lot of organizations to promote gender equality. So the process has started in Liberia. So like he talked about collaboration. So we need to seek for that kind of collaboration, look for organizations that gear towards the same thing, that promoting women, and see how we can collaborate with them. And then, because we talking about our focus will be also our nation. And much I will talk about the rest of the world, we got to be focusing on our nation. So if you come to gender equality, another issue of education of our population is another thing. We're looking at 85 to 50% illiteracy in a nation like ours that have been affected by the war. So if you want to empower women, I'm telling you, our women, all the university in Liberia, I visited all the campus on a daily basis. I have girls who are sitting there in the front desk in front of all the university gate. After time for graduation for that particular university, a lot of them go to what they call World Trade Center and get degree from there. We're all sitting in classroom. Most of them in classroom, they got no boys who are come from Ghana. They sitting there, got an organization that their assignment, for the interest is the certificate. So that area that we need to, in terms of cooperating, to see how we can discourage. We have to also pray for a sound government in our nation that will be able to effect some of these things. Because we're just talking. Go to the library right now, my God, that him be working that for you.
Your phone going in and out, Mr. Yeah, you got to come closer to the device. Your phone going in and out. So yeah. I will hold you there a little bit, but I just want to come in and say that women supposed to be celebrated 365 days in a year. Some of the things that we have done in this lifetime, even just to bear kids, to take care of children. Some women are foster parents. And they take care of these children. I mean, they gave their life for them, even they did not born them. That's the power of women. Although they got men doing it, but just that because women are being marginalized, so we just have to say the goodness that women have accomplished in this world. We don't forget about education, because they have some people. We praise that people have gone to school and they learn. They got women that have learned. We agree to that, but we got women that did not learn, but the kind of thing that they do as a day-to-day life as mothers, we have to celebrate them every day in the year. Okay. We should have a seat at the table, and they should be given the chance to make decisions. But how can we get, when we be given the chance to make decisions, most of the time it's the same women that bring the same women that making decisions down. So I mean that's why it's an ongoing cycle where we have to break the cycle. So I will let you come here, give me some yo, because you were explaining something. So
Let
come.
me, let me ask you. I want to take you as because uh, when I encounter you, your response to interview, when I heard that whole video, I said, oh, I found one. So what I'm saying is that for me, if I have all of the money in the world to celebrate women every day, I'm going to do it. Because the simplest thing I look at is that 9 months that people go through. That 9 months. Some of you people I went through the war, God allowed me to go through that war. I saw women were the breadwinner because the men could not come outside. They were hiding. The women had to come outside and find food for the children. And all of this thing going on, even in Liberia today, we saw some of the girls that we talked to, they were NGOs. So one night I told the guy, I said, let's go to this club and see how we can offer them some drinks and put on the table. So brother did the team. So we start asking them, but why is it coming? We want to help the people who are running. They say, oh, you're the 200, our parents, most of our parents, pressurizing us. Oh, you're sitting in the house, your friend and bringing food, you're not bringing food. So, and go to the street to raise money and tell that parent they got my shit. So, but if they come get involved with NGO, then the parent gonna know what to do. The actual thing. We got this bother, this social problem that has suppressed us. So, like my brother said, we got to find a way to how we can take our women out of there. But for every person, I can get 1 minute right now.
You rather talking some interesting things. It's just that your phone the thing keep on going in and out. You want to leave the platform and come back? Yeah, it going. We hear you there. It fade. We hear you there. It fade.
Somebody actually, people want to call. Oh, got it.
Yeah. I'm about to tell her now. We have opened the lines. The number is on the screen: 717-683-0783. But before they come in, I will allow viewer to come in. I want to say that in Liberia, women should be treated fairly and not look at as just a woman, but also a woman that brings something to the table. Because most of the time in Liberia, we are just like the objects that how the men see us. But most of the time, too, women bring something to the table. So even the ones that are in positions, that are in power, that work in some good institutions like that, most of them bring something to the table because they are well versed when it comes to what they know. They have experience on what they know. They are educated on what they know. In most cases, these women have to actually lie down with other men just to get a position that they so much deserve. So I just want everyone to come in that we want to bring the same amount of work to the table as the men bring, that they don't have to give themselves for anything. Once they're educated, they can have that they can sit at the table and make decisions. We want women to be, we're not seeing all women, but most women in Liberia, they have to go through that. So if you want to come and say something.
Yes, and I could get a little bit of what Mr. Yo-Yo was, but the Bible say in all you're getting in all that getting, get wisdom. And you can have all the knowledge, you can have all the degrees, you can have all the PhD. If you don't have wisdom, that knowledge will not be applied properly. And Mr. Yaya was talking, I caught a little bit of what he said, and it reminded me of the story during the war, when we were in the war. And I remember my mother was the one who stood when those people come. Every time they come for something, and every time they hold my pa also, she will stand before them and say, my pa ain't coming also. She will say, before you get to him, you will get to me first. And you got questions to ask him many times. And that's how she shielded him. You understand? Even though he was the head of the household, even though in Liberia, in the culture, he was considered as the boss in the house, like nobody can talk to him, or my mother couldn't stand up to him and stuff like that. Not that it happened, but culturally in Liberia, that's how people perceive you. You're not supposed to speak back to your husband. If something happens, the husband is supposed to be ahead. But guess what? During the war, a lot of the women were the ones who were in the forefront. They were the warriors. They went, the men didn't stay home. We were hiding the men, and the women were dodging bullets to go find to bring it home for the children and the men. When they call a men and say, "Come outside," the women will stay and say, "No, he not coming outside." What you want him for? You ask me first. That is what happened in our situation. Many times when they were holding him outside, she said he not coming outside. If they want, if they want him, they should ask her what they want him to come outside first. And I think Mr. Yoyo was explaining to me in the war situation how many women put their lives on the line for the men. So in that terms, men in Liberia shouldn't be looking down on women as a lesser, as a lesser person. Because when it comes, when I don't want to really use the word, but when push comes to shove in a home, the women are the one who go and face the fire. It's not a man. It is not a man. So if men in Liberia are saying that women are not equal to them, then when the fire comes, they go and face the fire. Don't send a woman in front to go face the fire. You go and put out the fire. And and so those are the kind of values Liberian women. I want to say Liberian women because we are Liberian women and we see what is happening to our very good women that are in the diaspora who choose to stand up to each other and tear each other apart unnecessarily. We are so strong. We are full of so much fire. We are full of so much value. We are full of so much vigor, so much strength, so much knowledge, so much wisdom. And we just choose to just throw it to the wolves. And I just want to speak to our Liberian women. We need to rise above the fray. We need to stop all this back and forth. Some things you just have to look at it and say, you know what, this thing is not even worth my time. I'm not even going to engage in the other situation. I'm not even going to respond to the other situation. See it as not responding to the situation and not the person behind the situation. Because if the person behind the situation brings a situation to you, don't look at the person behind the situation. Look at the situation because the situation is the distraction. The situation is what's going to escalate. The situation is what is going to make you to react. What they say, and that is what is going to provoke you. You got to look that situation into the eyes and say, you know what? I'm not even going to acknowledge you. I'm not even going to recognize you. And many of us that are insulting, many people that are insulting each other on social media, they say they are Christian women. They are godly women. And they are and faithful women. They are women of the cloth. They're women of however way they call themselves. And if you are a faithful woman, you are a Christian woman, you're a woman of the cross, you're a woman of the gospel, however you refer yourself as, you must know that the power says you should resist. Submit yourself to God first. Resist the devil and he will flee from you. So when I say when you have submitted yourself to God and you see that person behind the situation coming to you, you will look at that situation and say, you know what, get deep behind me, Satan, and you will walk away. Because it takes nothing from you. If somebody insults you and you don't respond back to them, guess what? You elevate yourself. You put yourself on a different platform. It doesn't make you a weak person. As a matter of fact, the person who is leveling the insult on you and coming after you, it exposes that person to know that that person is the ignorant person and that person is the one who is who has the problem and not you. So I just want to say that too many of us, we got too many abilities, we got too many things going on, and we got too many battles to fight. Liberia is in disarray. Our young sisters in Liberia, they are looking for role models all around. They are looking for help. Let us focus our energy to them and forget all the insulting. Somebody insult you, keep it moving. It does not take anything from you. Block them, unfriend them, and keep it moving. Lift yourself up to a different plateau and keep your head up and just look forward.
Yeah, and because when they insult you, it takes away from them. If you do not respond, it doesn't take anything away from you. And that's why our women need to focus on. When somebody come on social media, when they insult you, it take away from them. People see them in a different light. Do you know how many calls as Lawani women that we receive per day, that people calling us, oh, the other thing happening, and y'all need to please tell the person to do this, and y'all need to please tell the person to leave me alone. We go behind the scenes, sometimes we do it, so we talk to them, sometimes we don't, because some of the people they're not even worth talking to tell them to do this. But we telling you as a person, if you claim to be attacked, that you've been attacked, you just need to ride on and focus on your success, because God got something for you. That's why somebody else already noticing you too much. So you need to ride on because it doesn't take anything away from you, but it takes away from them. Because MTF, they say once I don't make noise, once I don't make noise. So Petron, I want to come to you. So what progress have you seen for gender equality in Liberia right now? What progress you seen?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you clear.
All right. I mean, from looking outside, looking in, I mean, from a gender equality standpoint, and if I was being actually objective, I would tell you that you just had a female president for 12 years. That's the first thing. Looking at the current government framework, you have a vice president female. You have also elected officials that are, and as well as appointed cabinet ministers that are female. So if I was objective and looking on the outside, I'm happy. I'm pleased because the female footprint is significant from an objective viewpoint as it relates to gender equality. So then it begs the question: what is our actual plea? What are we pleading for? Because gender, I mean, female, maybe not in astronomical numbers, but females hold significant position of influence in Liberia. And I think most of them, I'm not into the whole political scene, but I think they're doing a great job from my standpoint. That's what I would say. And just to answer that question.
Looking from the outside inside. That's
Yeah.
what, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So okay, guys, I would like to thank you guys for being on here. I just want to stress on if you want to make a point, you can call us on the number on the platform. We only will have 2 quarters anyway, so because we don't stay here too long. So if you want to say something concerning the celebration of Women Month and the topic that we are on right now, you can call the number on the screen there. It shows itself. So now we're moving forward. Okay, somebody is calling. Oops. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to make a point.
Okay, what's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Paul Gloria Fukamova. I'm calling from Iowa.
Okay, thank you,
Colu.
Kolu.
And I want to partake on what you guys discussing, especially on women issue.
Go ahead, make your point.
I got 2 points to make, like you said. And then watching a lot of the activities that is going for backroom, especially when it comes to women issue. We still see ourselves like that the men are still like, and not there to support us, especially like you talk about the officers, the rape thing. They will see the reality of the thing and try to do it like we're trying to play a women card. And trust me, a lot of us that know ourselves, we are women. Women will not be raped or a child will not be raped. And I know deep down my heart, my brother, my father, or my relative did it, and I support them. You're not a decent woman. You're not a decent woman. We got to stand there for women issue. And I'm happy that we got this group that coming out now and that putting ourselves together for the 2023. And trust me, I can tell you, I'm one of those that will support any women issue in Liberia, especially. You can even be close relative to me. So when it comes to the women card, we're all going to be, we'll stay for to support that women card. Because women for us got to be heard. We are qualified, we are competent, we do both of the job. And the men sit there, and when it comes to us saying it is white, then they're like, you can't say that. And some women will just fly away and listen to them. It can't work that way. We got to stand up for ourselves. And we feel that our brother, our husband, even down to the president who call himself feminist, is not doing it right. Let's talk. But we can't sit at the back and the foreign minister issue. We also what happened? While we were all there like, advocating for that young girl, we have women on the side undermining it.
Exactly.
And trust me, we are in it together, and I know we will not be 100%, but we still got some of us who are women that support women issue, and we will continue to support women issue because we are female. I'm a mother of 4 girls are coming up. So I will stand for women issue to the end.
All right. Thank you, Kolu. Mr. Yoyo, you want to respond to that?
Yeah. Anyway, Kobe is my daughter, one of my spiritual daughters. She all that. So she was trying to call me to get on this program. So what I would say is that one thing to speak about the issue, we got to look So we got to think about how to do the intervention part of it. I would like for us to maybe the next program will focus on the intervention. Now we see the problem of what's happening with gender equality, the issue of rape in Liberia. I know where it's coming from. Number one, they got a group of guys they call Zogo. I have met several groups. I told them these people you're calling Zogo. They walk the 20, 30 in group with their heads up. I said, these are monsters when they're ready, they'll start eating you guys up. Oh, Mr. You're scaring us. I said, I'm not scaring you. You people, we have made certain sector of society to be so vulnerable. These guys, you see, who even eating human being bones. They don't have any straighting girlfriend. So people use it to do everything. Even you and someone may first, they go hire Zogo and get a $20 to go and rape you. Somebody, you going out with somebody on a girlfriend, they get a fight, they hire Zogo to go and rape. That's where it's coming from. So if we don't go to the intervention part to go to the root and see how to solve it, then we'll keep talking over and over. And the major problem is that the country do not have a government.
Yeah, Mr. Yaya, before you continue, let me tell you, if you don't know, I think you just got to know us. We are the Liberian Women Advocacy Network International. 3 members are on here on the platform with you. We are going through the intervention part. You can join us, to do the intervention. Now you can join us and be a part of it. You don't have to join us. You can even support us to do it, because every other month in Liberia, we do awareness from community to community where we talk against rape. We give out stuff to the scenes Zogos you're talking about. We get them condoms and we get them towel soap. We talk about, we try to encourage them on their sexual life, how you good to protect yourself and everything. And then we come in rape, that when the girl don't want to be with you or the boy don't want to be with you, you can't force them. When you force them, that's rape. Or that's so we're doing the awareness. We have been doing it for a while now. So we ask you to support us in that. So go ahead.
So what I'm saying is that that's good. But the reason why I'm saying that is that because let's say in America, with all of the issue of race in America, there's still a government, there's still laws, there's a rules of laws that punish people when you are caught in an act.
Yeah.
Compared to that have something like that. I was there 1 year. You don't have that government don't have any capacity to punish anybody, because the very people who carry the gun, our there police officers were giving gun to people to go all night to go and rob people and come and report. Our there one boy was killed. This boy, he get about the gun, the boy want to go do the robbery and eat his money. Probably he won't realize he shot the boy. So all of this thing happening in our nation, it comes from government. So right now, with all of the racial issue, if you carry somebody to court and get in America and get witnesses, you get $1,000 true or false. That's what's happening. But can that happen in your nation? Never, ever. It's not going to happen there, because the people who sitting there are the corporate and they are conduit of what is going on. So with all your effort, in order for that effort to be substantiated, we got to find a way to see to get a government in place. We're not going to use any what they call it or cool flower, because you can go and get a guy condom. Some Liberian, any Liberian with all money, the money issue have taken over that whole nation. You can buy anybody for nothing. They got what they call, they got human trafficking going on. People are striking kidney, suddenly they're taking parts from young girls. The last time when I came back from Liberia, I went back to go bury my brother. And there's a story. Somebody told me to where there was a group to Farmington. 4 to 5 girls we got from the car was floating with a hair platter that they just collected from the bush on the street and took what they want to take for them. They're draining people's blood. They're doing all kinds of things. The motorbike boys, they are the hard men. So that human trafficking, there's a minister, I don't call his name. He told me, Isaac, if I open my computer right now, your tears, the water will dry from your body. Because people are selling, they are trafficking, taking kidney, heart, everything they are doing in our country. We don't have the criminals came from outside. They trained the children how to make drugs, and what it did was that they are drug the young kids, the girls, every one of them, they are into drugs. So it's a difficult problem. It is something where the government need to come in and help. Security for our people. They don't have security. So all that education they carry on at the end of the day, they'll go to square one. Because somebody must be there to say that, okay, Gracie K and interested, very valuable librarian in America want to help. How can we to help to sustain what they're doing? There's no way, whatever happening, your name is going out tomorrow, you'll be recognized, but it's not being sustained because there's no security. So then what
Yeah, but let me
there's no security. So, but you're doing well. I'm thankful today. I give you all my support. Wherever I will get, whatever means of payment whatsoever, where I can do a monthly transfer on my own to help with a project, I'm on board. But what I see, you are the kind of librarian that I know that will be able to help our nation tomorrow. So I'm more than glad to be a part of it. And you got my 150%, 100%.
Thank you, Mr. Yoyo.
Yeah.
Where you can come in.
No, I just wanted to say that I know Mr. Yoyo was mentioning that with rape cases in Liberia and stuff, he mentioned his locals and stuff like that. But what we've in our experience, what we've seen, and this is not what it shows. I mean, we're just talking all of it, and we're incorporating these things with the celebration of women. But most of the cases in Liberia, it's not even as locals. The children so hungry, they're just trying to survive. Most of the rape cases are people who are in positions. People who are in positions taking advantage of the women, and then around you got other little people around doing their own thing. But most of the violations are with people who are in high authorities. Even women. We're talking about women empowerment, and we're celebrating women today. But there was a high profile case where another girl raped another girl, and women shielded that issue. Women were the barrier to getting that case resolved. And to today's date, that case have not been resolved because women stood in the way and they were determined for that case not to go forward. Because the girl who was the perpetrator, who was involved, her mother was either friends with somebody who worked in the government or either worked in the government. So this is what we're talking about. Women, we need to rise. We need to rise above all these bad behaviors and things that we stand in the way of. When something is not close to us, we tend to be active. We tend to push forward for punishment. But when it's close to us, then we tend to shield it. Women, the theme this year is choose to challenge, and we must challenge each other. If a woman is standing in the way and doing wrong, tell that woman that she is wrong and let her get out. We must be able to face each other as women to succeed, to get the equality that we fight for. They say Hillary Clinton shattered the spring, and other people have busted through. Other opportunities are coming. Women are getting into all kinds of positions around the world. They are going into high places and stuff like that. In order for us to keep going into high places and holding onto high positions, guess what? We women must hold together. We must stop pulling each other down. We must start closing the doors that have already been opened for us. And like I said, Petma explained it well. We cannot be our own barriers, then at the same time crying for equality, especially Liberian women in the diaspora and in Liberia. You cannot cry for equality. You cannot cry for same pay and same opportunities when we are our own barriers. How are we going to ever get equality in Liberia when we stand in our own way? You gotta get
the mentality.
Yeah, you gotta get out of your own way. So we are celebrating each other. We have made a lot of inroads in the world, around the world. Women have done a whole lot of things and they continue to do it. We are celebrating all that, but at the same time, we have to get out of our own way, because I do believe part of the challenge that women are still having, especially in Liberia, because we are Liberian people and we are Liberian women on here, is because other women are standing in the way. And some of the women that we have put in place also, even though we talk about, I know Pittman mentioned that looking from the outside in, there are women within Liberia who are in places of position. But Pittman, I can tell you that some of the women that have been in the places of position have done a great job, and some are doing a terrible job. Some are just in the places, they're just in that position to be a barrier to everything. To everything.
Especially to women.
And Johnson Sirleaf, for the first president, kudos to her for Liberia or in Africa, kudos to her. But she didn't do everything right. There are some things that she stifled women. There are some women issues that and she should have taken on, and she stifled it and she blocked it as a woman. Specifically as a woman who had been raped and violated before. During her regime, we had a more than me issue where children sat on there and were raped and violated. And when outsider people in the diaspora tried to talk about it, they caught a lot of hard time from the government. They were told to shut up. They were told to leave it alone. As a matter of fact, they were told that the more than me and CEO in Liberia was doing a good job. She did a good job. She helped people. They forgot about those girls that were violated and stuff. Even the current vice president, Mrs. Jewel Howard Taylor, she has done some great things. At the same time, she has blocked some opportunities concerning women issues. So it's like half and half. So, but it cannot be half and half. If we're going to cry for equality and we're going to cry for everything else, then we have to work with the spirit of excellence for women. And that's what I have to say.
Thank you, Vera. And the thing is that the more than me case, they told authorities, they told people in positions that wanted to fight against that, they told them to be quiet. And the children did not just only get raped, they got infected with the HIV virus. And they still told them to be quiet, knowing that they were in a
quiet. There were women telling other people to be quiet. It wasn't the men.
Yeah, women telling other people that are fighting the case to be quiet because why? Or white woman came to Liberia and opened an institution and they were grateful for that. So what are the girls were being raped and infected with HIV? They didn't even care. They told the people to shut up. And that's the barrier that women set before other women. That's why we cannot reach our full potential in life in this world that we live in, because other women are we in the crab in the bucket mentality. As you come out, they pull you down. When you want to fight, they kind of call you down. You can't fight. And that's what we are going through. But we're moving forward. The show is about to close. So I just want to come on and say that this was a very, very good forum today, very good platform. And I just wanted to say that I want to share women's empowerment movement that inspire you. So you guys need to think about different women empowerment movement that inspire you. I will come in first. I would say the woman empowerment movement that inspired me was being a child watching my mother excel to excellence. Being a child watching my mother, Mary Elliott Correntin, excel to excellence. So my mother, one of the empowerment movement was when the government overthrew and then when they came into power, because my mom was working with Tubman and she worked with Tauber in the mansion in a high position. So she thought she was going to be one of the people that were going to kill. But being that the thing that saved her was God first, and what she knew, nobody else knew, and so Doden had to hold on to her so she could be able to operate in the radio room. So they came to my house. The president himself drove in a car with all the soldiers and the guns, and they came to Lockington and they asked Mary Elliott to get out of her house. And my mother got out of the house. They said, "You have been giving opposition. We need to go to the mansion now, and you need to help us to do this and do that." And that was one of the empowerment moments. I felt that my mother she excelled. Although it was on a gunpoint, but she excelled. She later on became one of the first women SSS Special Security Service ever to serve in Liberia. But because we don't have a history background, Liberia people do not keep ICAD, they don't keep history information. So that is not known today. People don't know that. But she was the first woman SSS ever to serve in the government of Liberia. And so that was one of the empowerment movement for me, and I'm proud of that. Anybody else want to come in or any empowerment achievement for anybody else?
Yeah, I just want to honor today, since we're talking about women today, I want to honor my late mother, Jemima Thompson Parker, who raised me to be a man. And everything she told me as my life, I've lived my life, I try to apply it and I try to live that value. And that value that she put in me was that we should, again, we should be in a position to help women. They don't necessarily help, we can help our wives at the same time, help any woman in our community, wherever we find ourselves that need our help. You know, we should help them. So that's what I got from her. And apart from other women in the world, like Mother Teresa, like other Michelle Obama, how to empower women. Apart from that, but that's my own experience from my mother to raise me in order to make me the kind of man that I the kind of value, planted that uh, Christian principle into us, to live it so that whenever we have difficulties, we'll be able to hold hands and pray together. So today, I want to honor all women, including two of you people that are here today, because you people are here because you went outside the border of your family and your children. What right do you have to go to Liberia, all that danger that? What right do you have to put an organization together with that your children to deal with? But you went outside that border. It's not about your children, but you're trying to create a society where your children can do it. Kids, so that's the value that I want to hold on here today. And if statement, I got something I want to be about.
No, you were saying on your last statement, I want people to come in.
Okay. So far I say, and bravo to you ladies. For now, after this, I'll try to do more about you guys, so I can know what to do for now.
Okay. Pittman, can you come in?
Yes, actually, inspiration from women. I give credit to my mom for having me first, and I'm always going to honor her every time I'm given the opportunity. But I didn't have the opportunity to spend my entire life with my mom. She had to leave due to circumstances beyond her control. So mine is more twofold. And my stepmother came in, Evelyn. So I give credit to both ladies for having an intricate part in my upbringing. But as far as a woman empowerment, I will give credit to Rosa Parks. Not only did she stand up for women, she went beyond, stood up for a whole race of people. And her work today led to us having opportunities because had she not defied them, the all odds, and not giving her butt seat, who knows where we would have been today. So that act by Rosa Parks has inspired so many opportunities. And one may say, well, it's not like it don't really matter. It's us as people, as women as a whole. So I look up to her and thank her for her efforts. Thank you.
Rob?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, my mother will
let me come in.
my mother will forever my role model. I will forever look up to her. She has gone through a lot of challenges, a lot of things, and she rose above it, from childhood days to her adulthood. And for that, I always look up to her. For in case of women empowerment, I mean, my mom would be my first example of a woman empowerment. And she laid a path in my life that I've lived up to this day. But I think back to where an empowerment moment as a child. I didn't see it that way as a child, but now that I'm a grown woman, I look back and I see it as a time of empowerment. Is when we were on a mission, we were on problem mission. I think it was 1986 during the coup with the whole Thomas coup thing. And we were still on a mission when the stuff happened. And I think he was Minister John Bear. He had his show, he had his daughter on a mission. And John Bear made sure to send soldiers up to Bromley Mission in Clay Ashland to make sure all the girls on that mission were protected. John Bear sent word and said that I don't want not one girl touched on that mission. On that mission, they're all women. I don't want none of the people, children to be violated, not even including my own. And that man, Minister John Bear, at the time, assigned soldiers all the way up in Clay Ashland and Bumley Mission near the St. Paul River, and those people guided us and nothing happened to us. Because you know what? At that time, looking back, he saw our future. He saw we as women what we were capable of. And that man said, not one of them should be violated. Not one of them should be touched. And all of them should be secure. I look back now that we're talking about a moment of empowerment, and I give John Bear credit. He was a father. He was a husband. He was a brother. He was an uncle. And he makes sure we as girls, as little girls, and some were teenagers and some were below teenagers, he made sure we were protected. And that's why we are here today, because it could have been different.
Mr. Yaya, you want to come in? You wanted to say something quickly?
Yeah, I'll also want to for, recognize Oprah Winfrey because some time ago we heard that her DNA from Liberia. I'm not sure about that, but the role that she had played, I listened to most of her program on OWN, and she had inspired a lot of people. She also inspired me. Uh, um, after I came to the West, and we need to really I'd like to take this time to give her a flower, because she had impact on the entire world. She's a kind of woman of grace that God brought into this world to be many women. She has worked with so many women in prison and everywhere in every community in America, everywhere in the world to help empower women. And I think you be into that same kind of step because so far I want to see like one of women. I want to see two of you people. I hope the weeks I will be able to see most of your women on Facebook and
Of
on
course, we are many.
yeah. After COVID, I'm driving straight to one of your any program you will be planning. Trust me, I will be there. I will drive from your state there because it cost me like 8 hours from here to Philadelphia. So I will be there, and I'm just uh, overwhelmed with everything. And uh, I love women, and I love women leadership. So you want me to say what I want to say now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, so what we want women to do is just certain social part that I just want to mention. First of all, I want to encourage all women to stick to your value. Stick to your value just how you, Vera, and other women has value and using your value to help other women. I want all of them who have come across you, who listen to this program today, who on your program and on your page and your product, your beauty products, and every other thing. I want them to be able to stick to that value. And then number two, I want all women to stand up for themselves in the face of adversity. Whatever problem you face, family problem, community problem, your children problem, always stand up for yourself and holding on to that value that you got because that's the only thing a woman got, that's the only property a woman got is your value. And that value that make you a woman that's supposed to stand but to be a helper like you people have been doing, like our wives have been doing to us. I just want them to stand by that. And number two, fight against suppression for all quarters. Gender suppression, which means men suppressing any woman, it don't have to be, but as long as any man that's going against any woman, we should be able to stand against that person and stop them. So stand up against all form of abuses. Women are already a vulnerable sector in every society. So going to the extent of abusing them is any man or any individual can do to a. And I love Canada. The women law in this country is so strong until people, I have seen women slapping men in the street and he would never dare lift up his hand to touch her. So they got a very strong women law in this country where women are protected, to the highest that you can think about. So I want us to stand that. Okay, vet for your value, what you stand for. As a woman, vet for your value and stand for what you believe in. Be a virtual woman and respect that title that God gave you as a helper in the Garden of Eden. After Adam was created, passing around, he felt sorry for Adam because one evening he was passing, Adam was lying down under this tree, shivering, shaking. Said, but this guy, he need a partner. And God did not go back to the soil to make woman. To show us women why we should take care of women is that God took our rib as a sign of ownership, not ownership of support, but ownership of love. Because this rib is so important, so that's why God took it. So every time you see a wife, you are seeing your rib. And you cannot survive all rib because it holds all the important organ in your body. So that's why God took you people and made you people a woman to be a helper to us. So we're supposed to love you beyond ourselves. So and with that, and I know a woman of passion, a woman of innovation, a woman of integrity, woman of excellence, woman of teamwork, woman of diversity, the multiplicity. Women, when you give them position, they bring people who will do the work on board because they don't compromise anything when it comes to their job. So today, I honor you with my life. I honor you with every part of me, my heart and everything, my love and everything. I honor you. And may God bless all the women, especially our vulnerable Liberian women. I keep praying for them. I pray for them on my page. I pray for them when I have my private fast and prayer. I'm available. If you have to call me, I can take a 7 days for you, free of charge. I don't charge people even when I say that. I mean, 7 days. I can take 7 days straight for you if you got a difficult problem that you want to deal with. I'll be available.
Thank you, Mr. Yaya. Pedro, you want to say
Thank you, brother Isaac. You said plenty. That's it. I already said.
Yeah.
The man is passionate about it. All right. But yes, for my partner shots, something you said earlier, I'm gonna add on to that, Grace. The mind of a woman is brilliant beyond imagination. I think, and I'm speaking to a woman more so in an intimate setting, and we as partners can limit that or we can explore that. That's all up to how we treat that mind. Regardless of an education level or anything in that capacity, if you want to see how smart a woman is, give her an idea and listen to the response. She will give you things that you didn't even imagine. But a lot of times people miss that because sometimes men say, well, I'm educated, so I don't need to tap into you. It's not about that. Tap into those minds and you'll be surprised what you are gifted with. So tap into the mind of your woman and you'll be surprised. That's why you tell people beside every successful man is a stronger woman. So tap into those minds. The second piece I will leave everybody with is as we talk about equality from a gender standpoint. Let us not get so much focus on the competitive side, but more of the development and collaboration side. Why is that important? Throughout this discussion today, there was points being made about women at the seat at the table, but unqualified. So qualification is important because where I see foul in gender equality is when a woman is more qualified for the position you give it to a man, you have violated gender equality. So we need to develop our young ladies and make them full of rounds. So when they sit at the table, they can perform. That's how we can sustain excellence. And I don't want this to be a competition to see if women can outdo men. That's not the focus.
No.
The focus is can we work together and give each other the respect, the dignity, regardless of the gender that's associated with the individuals. When we start to do that, we will not even worry about gender equality or women's suppression because then you don't see a gender, you see a qualified individual, a competent individual, and you treat it as such. It's just in a relationship with what Dr. King said about don't judge me by the color of my skin, but the content of my character. judge that lady by her ability. So we have to focus on getting our young ladies equally as developed as our young men, so that we together we can solve this problem. So just awareness, tap into your ladies' mind. You'll be surprised, and focus on developing our young people. The rest will take care of itself. Thank you all for having me. I applaud your effort. Y'all are strong women, and I respect y'all. Thank you, my brother, as well, Isaac.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you very much. Vera, you want to come in? We got less than
Okay,
1
man.
minute.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to close by saying that, we women, it's time for us to hold together. I know we say it all the time. It's just time for us to put away all the childishness. We are of a certain age. Many of us are of a certain age now. We are past childhood. We are past teenage year. We are even past on the years of our 20s and 30s, some of us. So it's time to be to mature up to the level, up to up to your age in number. It's time for us to mature, and we talk about collaboration, and I think Pigment just talk about development, and that brings me to say that even this month that we are celebrating International Women's Day, we did get another request, so we will be doing another show, and this time, Pigment, is gonna be women, young women out of Liberia who are doing good things, who have challenged themselves to rise above the level. They go out and they're doing great work. They put the camera away. They don't show pictures of the work. They don't come on Facebook and post about it. But we know they're doing it. So after the show, we're gonna be featuring them. We're bringing them on to tell us how they are collaborating with other women on the ground and how they are teaching on the ground, because the group that we're bringing on, they're going into the communities, like people with little girls. They go, they take care of them. They teach some of them how to bring up the little girls, what they should look for in the little girls and stuff like that. So we're going to be coming on again before we close the end of the month. We're going to be bringing it. And we try to collaborate as much as with anyone who wants to collaborate with us. We don't draw back. We don't take no specific position. We are open to working with anybody. At the same time, if we see wrong among other women, we are going to call it, and we're going to call it out and then resolve it and move forward. And I think that's how we women need to operate. When we see wrong, we call out wrong, we resolve it and move forward together.
Yeah. I would like to thank you guys for being here with me today, on the platform. I really appreciate all of you, and you guys had some excellent things to say. For me, I would say I would still say from the Bible, it says women are the most intelligent of all creation. And I want to inspire women today. I want to challenge Liberian women, especially. I want to challenge Black women. I want to challenge white women. I want to challenge women as a whole to tell you that what the example are you setting for your children? That's one of my challenges to women. If you come here on social media or in your community and you're doing things that's supposed to set a roadmap for the children in the community and your own children, think about that. If that's what you're doing, then you're doing your best. If you are not doing that, you need to change to do that, because that's how we can set a better next generation for the world. Because we're not going to stay here forever, but it's what you have set here on earth that will remain for you. And that will carry on your legacy. That this person was so, and there was what they do. Do you want your legacy to be a bad legacy, or do you want your legacy to be a good legacy? I will encourage and challenge all women to uplift one another. Bringing each other down is not going to do anything for us. It's just going to make it harder for us to reach our gender equality spot by the year 2030. It will be harder for us to reach that, because we'll be, instead of us lifting one another up, we are keep on putting one another down, and we need to stop that, because at the end of the day, love is all we need. Thank you guys so much for being on the platform.
Yeah.
The next generation. We'll see you here next Sunday. Yeah, Mr. Yaya.
Yeah, I wanted to, as a preacher, I got Proverbs 31 that have to do with women. So if it's okay that I read it all before we close, it will be after.
Yeah, just read it, and then we're just close now.
Okay, so Proverbs 31. Woman is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at days to come. She speaks wisdom, and faithful instruction is in her tongue. She watches over the affairs of her household and does not eat the bread of otherness. Men and women do noble things, but you surpass them all.
Thank you so much. So thank you guys for watching out there. We encourage you as you leave here, you can go and rewatch this live. You know, maybe learn something from it because
Hey, man, I can hook up, man. Facebook.
there's another thing that you can learn from us and that we can also learn from you. So we'll go back to the comments and we'll respond to you people. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for being on the platform. God bless you. Bye bye.
Now, what they call you, Grace?